Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the presentation of the Meeting and Event Barometer. I'm very happy to have Joachim König with me. Joachim König is the president of the European Association of Event Centers and the acting president of the Joint Meetings Industry Council. Welcome, Joachim.
Welcome, Matthias. Pleasure being with you.
The Meeting and Event Barometer is the Germany study of the meetings and events market. It has been initiated by the European Association of Event Centers, the German National Tourist Office, and the German Convention Bureau in the year 2006. It is conducted by the European Institute of the Conference Industry. Starting with some market information, I'm going to share a slide with you which clearly shows the global impact of our industry. This slide is based on the ICA statistic and shows the moving patterns of the international rotating congresses since 1873. And it clearly shows that the focus and the highest concentration of meetings takes place in Europe. More than 50%, in order to be precise, 54% of all international rotating meetings take place in Europe. And within Europe, Germany is the #1 meeting destination. Since 12 years in a row now, Germany leads this ranking. There's only one country in the world that hosts more international meetings than Germany. This is the United States of America. The latest ICA figures will be published on May 8th. So as soon as they are available, we will of course share it with you as well. Having a look to all Europeans traveling to Germany on business, you can clearly see that traditional business traveler represent 47% of all business travelers coming to Germany. The promotable business sector represents 53%. And the largest sector within the promotable business sector is the conference and convention sector. 32% of all promotable business travelers travel on behalf of because of conferences and conventions to Germany. Compared to last year, this number grew by 8%, and that's a clear sign. If you have a look to, for example, the trade show and exhibition sector, it decreased by 11%. So you can say that the conference and convention sector is the key driver within the business tourism sector. Let's have a look to the market overview and the current demand situation in Germany. Very happy to announce that last year 394 million people participated in meetings in Germany. This is a slight increase compared to last year by 0.4%. The international participants grew by 1.7% compared to last year, but the number of meetings slightly decreased by 1.5%. However, the average duration of a meeting remained more or less the same compared to last year. One more sentence regarding the 394 million participants. This is really a huge number. If you have a look to the number of the population of Germany, then 394 million participants represents an equivalent of 4.5 times of the German population. And this clearly shows how important meetings and events are for the German science sector as well as the German economy. Having a look to the overall trend of participants in events over the last 10 or 11 years, since 2006 now, you can see that we have achieved the highest number of participants in the year 2016. Now, in total, as mentioned already, 394 million people participated in meetings and conferences in Germany last year. However, the number of meetings slightly decreased compared to last year. So this is very clear that the events itself became larger and more international. Why more international? Let's have a look to the next slide. The number of international participants achieved 32.9 million people last year. So that means that 32.9 million people from abroad travel to Germany in order to participate in one of our events, conferences, or congresses. If you compare the numbers of 2016 with the numbers of 2006, when we started with this research, you can clearly see that the number of international participants has more than doubled. And compared to last year, the numbers even grew by 18%. And I think this is a very, very significant sign, and it clearly shows that meetings and events are global drivers within our industry. Well, that's a quick overview about the meetings and events, the latest results of the Meetings and Events Barometer when it comes to the demand side. And as usually, my dear colleague Joachim König prepared the supply side for you. And now I'm going to hand over to you, Joachim.
Thank you, Matthias.
Here's some information about the venues.
So if we look on the supply situation, we start with the venues. We counted for the last year 7,313 venues, which was an increase by 1.5% with reference to the previous year. If we look at the different event venue types, we see a stagnation within the classical conference centers, slight increase within the meeting hotels, and a bigger but also slight increase within the special event locations. Looking at the event types, we do see that the biggest event type part, the conferences and meetings, did have an increase which was remarkable with reference to all the other figures by 5.6%. The only other event type which had an increase was the area of sports and cultural events with 1.4%. All other areas of event types had slight decreases, maybe in comparison to the overall amount of meetings and conferences, simply because of lack of space, but maybe also because of different reasons. This is something we will have to obey for future development. If you look at the types of events divided into the professionally motivated meetings, which means the meetings business, and the other events, we also see that the increase in 2016 is definitely present compared to the previous year. And it also shows a continuous positive development starting off with the year 2015 and with reference to the decrease we had between 2012 and 2014 because of the economic crisis, which was also harmful for our business as well. Looking at the size categories for professional motivated events, we do see that within the size of events, we have a decrease within the smaller events and an increase within the bigger events. This is something which is remarkable, which is a trend which could go on in the next years, and something we have also to watch carefully in order to find out if there is a trend coming up. It could be related to the digital event development, which we all have, and which we can all watch within our field of business. If we look at the large professionally motivated events, so the big congress business, if you want to say so, with reflection to the event venue type, you see the approval of the chart before. The bigger ones have positive developments in all sizes from 500 to over 5,000. The last chart deals with the days occupied. Here we have a differentiation between the event days and the days of inaccessibility. And what we can see here is that within the congress centers, the amount of days of inaccessibility is the highest one, and in the hotel business, the smallest one. The special event location ends up somewhere in the middle. Altogether, the amount of days occupied is on the same level, almost on the same level like in the last years. And it proves the overall development we just seen in the last charts with a reflection to the different business types and the size of events. So that's also my quick view on the side I have to present.
Well, thank you, Joachim. Thank you for all the detailed information regarding the supply side. Well, I think that our audience is not only interested in what happened last year and about the facts and figures regarding the recent year. Some of you might also be interested in the future. And this is why we ask our members and partners, what do they think about the future? How will it go in the future? And what are their predictions when it comes to booking situations and other questions, Joachim?
So it's absolutely positive. As you can see here, we have a much bigger amount of positive providers than the year before, and we even had very positive figures in the year before, as far as the booking situation is concerned. And since we also asked the more overall related question for future trends and a judgment about this, the positive figures are even bigger with reflection to this overall question. So we have we can have a very good feeling for the upcoming business time, and we have to face the challenge to cope with that and present all the businesses in a good shape.
Well, Joachim, thank you very much. It's always good ending with positive predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. For those of you who are interested in more detailed information, please visit our website. There you will find not only this presentation, but also more detailed management summary, press releases, and many other information. Thank you for joining. Please stay tuned. Bye-bye.
Thank you, and bye.